Hi everypony, Bright Idea here, and in this video I'll be doing something a little bit different. As bronies may know, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Season 1 premiere episode aired on the newly created Hub network on October 10th, 2010, or 10-10-10. How I love numbers that repeat. But how many bronies also know that before the Hub network, the channel was called Discovery Kids, and that it had a slew of original, funny, well-written, animated family shows that were educational in the best way possible? You know, like Magic School Bus or Bill Nye the Science Guy educational. The only reason I'm aware of any of these facts is because of one of my followers, Rancor Palmach, who asked me to help spread awareness of the awesomeness that used to be Discovery Kids. So for you, Rancor, and for all my fans out there, today I'm going to review 3 different animated shows that used to air on Discovery Kids: Tutenstein, Kenny the Shark, and Time Warp Trio. A couple disclaimers before we start. Number 1, though I probably was the target age demographic for these shows at the time they aired, I did not watch any of these cartoons growing up. I had to find episodes on YouTube just this November, and thankfully episodes are available in full on various channels. I'll provide links in the description for those who are curious to watch. Second, it would take me way too much time to review these shows as a whole, so I'll only give my opinions and impressions based on the first episode of each show. That way, I get a feel for the story, meet all the important characters up front, and know what they're about, and see whether I'd like to continue watching based on those facts alone. With that said, get ready to take a trip down cartoon history, recent history, relatively speaking. First off, we have Tutenstein, which first aired on November 1st, 2003, ran for 39 episodes, and ended with a TV movie that aired on October 11th, 2008. This show is about a young pharaoh prince who somehow died and became mummified, and 3,000 years later he's brought back to life by the power of the Scepter of Waz and other old symbols apparently. There to meet him for his millennia due wake-up call are Cleo Carter and her cat Luxor, who can somehow talk because ancient Egyptian magic blast. Hey, makes about as much sense as EQG Spike talking in the friendship games. Sorry, no ponies. On topic. On the surface, it's a cute show with cool monster designs and funny moments, but excuse the archaeologist pun here, if you dig a little deeper, there is something quite dark and awesome about this cartoon. Tutenstein had a real Egyptologist as a consultant for the show, so you know that the writers and animators did their homework, and the stories and enemies referenced in the show, such as Set, god of destruction and chaos, actually came from ancient Egyptian mythology. At times, the writing is a little cliché, but other times it can be pretty damn clever.
You look a lot shorter than your picture. Younger, too.
Alas, my life was tragically cut short. Being pharaoh can be hazardous to your health.
At first, I thought the characters were cardboard cutouts. Haughty professor, incompetent night guard, spunky girl. But after watching a little more, I really started to like the characters and the way they interact, especially Tutankamun, or Tutenstein as he's frequently called. What I enjoy most is the way it subtly teaches about Egyptian mythology and culture by integrating little tidbits of it into the plot. Kinda like blending spinach or kale in a fruity shake to make it more healthy. It's smart and entertaining at the same time. The first episode really reminds me of Avatar: The Last Airbender in a way, because much like Avatar Aang, Tutenstein was pretty much kept alive for ages in a trap of his own design, albeit accidentally, and wakes up at first confused and bemused at his new surroundings, and he instantly makes friends with the first characters he meets. Although, technically, this show came out before Avatar, so maybe Avatar reminds me of Tutenstein? In any case, I'll definitely be checking out more of this show in my cartoon watching time, and I recommend it highly to any pony for its humor, characters, and educational, yet entertaining stories.
Ah, it feels good to be alive, so to speak.
Next we have Kenny the Shark, which also started airing November 1st, 2003, but ended around February 18th, 2006 with 26 episodes. Now, I've loved cartoons since I was little, no surprise, because you could basically do anything you wanted with the world and characters living in it. But with something like this, with such an out-there premise, a girl who has a shark for a pet, who can walk about on land and can only communicate with said girl, I'm going to ask a lot of questions. From the intro alone, I could tell this wasn't my kind of show, with the art style and the type of plots the stories revolve around, but I'll try anything once, so I gave it a chance anyway. So, in the first episode, we learned that the girl, Kat's mom, is a therapist, and she's treating a patient who has a fear of sharks. Coincidence? Convenience. She tries to use exposure therapy by introducing Kenny to this patient, but Kenny instantly goes into Jaws mode and tries eating him on multiple occasions, afterwards feeling remorseful and not knowing what came over him. It's discovered by the end of the show, through questionable sneaking and spying on this patient, that the reason Kenny's instincts took over was because the patient hung out with seals at the aquarium. Makes sense and kind of educational, I guess, but personally, I'm just too distracted by the fact that this show stars a talking shark who walks on land like a person. I'll probably watch more, just out of some strange curiosity, and for the jokes and educational bits, but I wouldn't say that this show won me over with the first episode.
When do we eat?
Later, Kenny.
Honey, she's talking to that shark again.
Finally, we have Time Warp Trio, which aired 26 episodes between July 9th, 2005 and September 2nd, 2006. After watching the first episode, a wave of nostalgia washed over me, a feeling that this show should have been part of my childhood. Allow me to elaborate. Time Warp Trio is a well-written and very entertaining adventure-based kids show based on a book series of the same name, written by John Sieska, who also wrote The True Story of the Three Little Pigs and The Stinky Cheese Man and other stories. Man, are those stories a wacky blast from the past. Speaking of which, this series is about 3 boys who time travel via magic book, I guess. In the first episode, one of the boys, Joe, gets the book for his birthday from his magician uncle, who promptly disappears after giving the gift. Kinda weird, but okay. Before I know it, these boys find themselves sucked through a green portal and spit out to old-time pirate days, meeting the fearsome Blackbeard in all his salty glory. In the first minutes, he actually shoots dead the lackeys who helped dig the hole for burying his treasure. My first reaction?
Oh, snap! Did you see that?
They actually went there. No sugarcoating the pirate life for this show just because there might be kids watching. There are a few other times in this show where the boys find themselves in pretty dangerous, life-threatening situations, to the point of possibly facing the hangman's noose. Through it all, the boys work together and outsmart their way around their obstacles to try to get back home safely. I give this show mad respect for its ability to teach kids history by making the stories exciting and adventure-like, and I care about these characters because they're young and smart and pretty funny to watch. The animation style takes a while to get used to, but the voice acting and the writing are fantastic in my opinion, and it's got the added bonus of having blink-and-you-miss-it visual gags. In this scene, where the boys are searching Blackbeard's quarters to find a book or something to help them get out of there, there's a cover that reads, "Plundering for Dummies," and Moby Dick, which wouldn't have been published for over 100 years after Blackbeard's death. And another thing, I actually learned something about Blackbeard, like the fact his name was really Edward Teach, and that he had 14 wives. I don't exactly know what I'll do with that information, but I do know that I'll remember it for a long time to come. All in all, I'm definitely going to be watching more of the Time Warp Trio, and perhaps even check out the book series it's based on. It's funny, it's entertaining, and it gets me excited to learn something.
If I'm going down, you're going with me.
Anybody got any ideas?
These 3 shows have unfortunately been off the air for years, but thankfully one can still watch them and relive the joy of discovery that comes with watching not just any old cartoon, but an animated show that respected its audience, no matter how young or old they were, and tried to pass down some education in a fresh, new, and exciting way. You know what's better about watching it today? No commercials! Well, except for YouTube's ads, but I'd rather sit for 30 seconds and/or click a skip ad button than wait for the break to be over on television. Thank you so much for watching this video, and next time I promise you bronies and Pegasisters that I will have a pony-related video to share. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like this video, share on Facebook or whatever, and subscribe to this channel for more, wait for it, bright ideas. Until next time, every pony, see you later.